Hey y'all, what's up? It's me, Double KK Double, and I am here as always with Alpha. What's up, bro?
The angrier, paler other half of the show, right? Walk in, and this time we're not doing comics. We're back into sweaty men in tights.
Oh
and
yeah,
today we're gonna break it down with AEW to begin with this time.
oh yeah. I'll say, well, actually, if you check my record dating back to the days of Raw Impact Unleashed, I have a history of working with angry white men. Love you, Cole.
I'm not the
Love
first.
you, bro. Well, say, but anyway, no, yeah. Let's kick it off right quick with that AEW Revolution pay-per-view. I think it happened last Sunday. I didn't really get a chance to watch it. I heard it was a pretty good pay-per-view, so we're going to go ahead and check out the results here. Evidently, you had a tag team match with Britt Baker and Maki Ito defeating Riho and Thunder Rosa.
Right,
continuing that little
Britt
feud.
Baker, the most improved underdog of the year, right?
Yeah. I don't know. The most impressive thing about Britt Baker to me as of right now has been the fact that she now wears a glove when she puts on her finisher. I like that.
Okay, true.
Shows she's really in tune.
Gimmicky in the right way. I feel
exactly.
that, yeah.
The Young Bucks retain their titles, defeating the Inner Circle, Jericho and MJF.
As you would expect.
As you would expect. Ray Phoenix defeated won the Casino Tag Team Battle Royal or Team Royale, won by eliminating Jungle Boy. So now Ray Phoenix and Pac, representing Death Triangle, get an AEW Tag Team Championship match.
Big hype.
Yep. Hikaru Shida.
You got it.
Yep. Retained her title against Ryo Mizunami.
Yep.
As expected, Miro and Kip Saban with Penelope Ford beat Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor by submission with the Rusev. Oh, sorry, I mean Miro Stomp. My bad.
Miro Stomp.
Hangman Adam Page beat up Big Money Matt Hardy, and so I guess evidently now Adam Page gets all of Matt Hardy's 2021 first quarter earnings, however that works. Scorpio Sky defeated Cody Rhodes, Penta El Zero Medio, Lance Archer, Max Caster, and Ethan Page in a Face of the Revolution ladder match, and he got his title shot that we'll talk about a little bit later on Dynamite for the TNT Championship. Darby Allin and Sting, and this is the one that I'm sad I missed, is Darby Allin and Sting defeated Team Taz, Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. I'll say in a cinematic street fight.
There you go. I was gonna say I wouldn't know what to call that, but yeah, cinematic street fight is the best word for it. Go ahead.
And then what we'll get to a little bit now, but let's go ahead and kick off the conversation with this, because this much I do know about. I have seen the video of the ending to the Kenny Omega beating Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship match, and yeah, man, yeah. Come on, like,
yeah, man.
You have to do better. You to be as big of a company as AEW claims to be, you have to do better. Period.
Yeah, man. It's starting from the main event this time. I like this. Let's start from the top, rather than the bottom. Right? Let's start from the top. So, like in isolation, Moxley and Omega actually had a really good match pre Gilbert entrance pyro.
Gilbert.
Homie, I love Gilbert. But Moxley and Omega actually had a really good match in physicality.
Yeah.
And I liked the blood. I liked the way that they when they Irish whipped each other into the ropes, they sold it like they were fucking dying, If you haven't seen the actual match pre that little fuck up, I implore you to. It's actually really worth it. But it does hurt so much that it wasn't a bigger explosion, and I have an understanding that it was supposed to be, and that it was obviously a big mistake on their part. You know, it was supposed to be much larger, but like to think how epic it would have been, you know. Like, I don't know, have you been able to see the original exploding barbed wire death matches in Japan,
That I have not.
or even like
Unfortunately,
any video of them?
I have seen some videos of them. I had homies of mine that were back in the 80s and in the 90s that were kind of obsessed with them. So I've
Okay,
seen clips, but I've never actually sat down and watched an entire match. Like I've heard
that's
about
fine.
some
Yeah.
of the ones that Mick Foley was in, but yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, you don't. That's completely fine, actually, because my point here with this is you don't even need to see the matches in isolation. If you just look at the explosions, they're not necessarily violent or built to really hurt the wrestlers in and of themselves, right? They're obviously just meant to cover the ring in a big fucking plume of smoke to look like they really took a lot of damage, and that's clearly where they fucked up here. And I understand why they wouldn't, because they were indoors. And you'll notice that's the consistency with the Japanese barbed wire explosive death matches.
is they're outdoors.
Fuck, that's a mouthful. Is that they're outdoors. Because of that, exactly. The point of this is that you create enough literal and figurative smoke to make it look believable. And I think if they had done this outdoors, they would have, you know, really balled out with that. But at the end of the day, I have an understanding that it was a malfunction and that it would have looked so much cooler, because I fucking love Moxley, obviously, and I fucking love Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
And how cool this would have really looked if Kingston went out there and covered Moxley and an explosion completely barreled the fucking ring. Imagine how good that shit would have looked.
Exactly.
And we'll get into it when we talk more about the AEW Dynamite that followed the show this week. Kenny Omega did a pretty damn good job of salvaging it, if I'm being honest. But I do wish, you know, in the moment, like you said, I wish it was just better. I wish it was just more, you know.
But it didn't, you're right, in one aspect. It didn't take away from what I heard as far as the pay-per-view altogether. In-ring work for that match, almost every comment I've seen on the match itself has stated, I enjoyed the match all the way up until that ending. I enjoyed the match all the way until that finished. And so evidently, you know, it was a great match. I've heard a lot of good things about pretty much every match. But once again, having not seen the pay-per-view, I'll leave that to you, my friend, to let the people know exactly how good it was.
You know, it's really hard walking into this a second time for them, and I understand that, obviously, because Moxley and Omega are amazing workers, and as good as they are, we've seen them do this before in terms of a hardcore setting. You know, we watched them do that absolute banger of a death match. Like, what? Jesus, must have been a year and a half by now, right? When they had that, I think it was Revolution.
Yes.
Was it? Yeah, Revolution.
Yes.
Last time around. Yeah, no, it was a great fucking match, and I loved that. I loved what they did with the chains, the barbed wire. I loved everything about that match, and they did a very good job of doing the deathmatch style without hitting the same exact ticks, and also doing things in relation to those, in reference to those, like Omega not falling for the same shit that Mox did last time, and vice versa. It was really good storytelling in multiple aspects, but you know, they bled like a motherfucker, and that was probably the best part. You know, they both have the
crimson mask.
Yeah, you know, they're very good at the Ric Flair effect. You know, they're fucking bleeders.
Yeah.
Let's move downward though. At that point, what was the match before that?
Let's see. It was the let's see. Let's bring it back up here. It was the Darby Allin Team Taz match. Darby Allin and Sting.
Oh, even fucking better. Okay, so I didn't know this going into it, but finding out after the fact, you know, apparently Sting spent countless fucking hours on this, just putting it together, thinking of all the ways that it'll go and all the spots that they could do. And I can see a lot of that. You know, Sting obviously looks like a badass here. Everything that Sting does to someone, it looks like they're fucking dying. And I do like that. And, you know, and it doesn't, and like I said with the Undertaker thing, this is a very good way to make Sting look believable offensively, as well as help him safely take a lot of moves, you know. And I'm not saying this is all fluff. And at the end of the day, I don't think anyone really wants to see Sting in a competitive match.
No.
Like an uber competitive, high speed indie pace match. Would you be interested in that?
Nope.
Because I
would. To be honest with you, like, no. Like, and that's just real talk. It has nothing to do with Sting.
Yeah.
It's a matter of, I would want to see Ric Flair in a full-on match.
Yeah.
Like, at his age. Like, I'm overseeing these older guys get in the ring with these younger guys. Back in the 90s, it was when you didn't really have enough star power. I understood. Like putting 50-year-old Ric Flair in there with John Cena.
It's different when you're trying to specifically do a draw, right? When you're specifically trying to make a point out of it.
Right. I understand that. But Sting doesn't need to be in a ring. He doesn't need that. When he took that power bomb, that just didn't look good in any way at all whatsoever when he took that power bomb on Dynamite. So
if they were trying to make me cringe, they succeeded.
Right. And so like Sting, now mind you, Sting may want to get in the ring and go. And I think he could give us a good quick, people don't understand. The reason why Goldberg only gives us 3-minute matches is because the reality of it is that Goldberg can't really go longer than 5 minutes before shit starts looking sloppy. Because his cardio's just not there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Goldberg versus The Fiend.
Exactly. So yes, you protect Sting by putting him in a cinematic match because then he doesn't have to run around the ring. He doesn't have to, he can sell, he can do a scene, sell for it, take the bump, and then rest for a couple of hours before they shoot the next scene. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't have to get up.
If you're rolling live, you're
rolling live.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. So, and it was the same thing with Undertaker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, those matches against AJ Styles made him look good. But the reality of it was there were probably a lot of times in which Undertaker did some offense or took a bump and just had to go, you know what?
Time out.
Time out. We just got to chill for a couple of hours and come back to this. I doubt all of that was done in one shot.
In that.
And there isn't. They're older, especially with the Undertaker. A lot of people don't understand. The bigger you are, the older you get, the harder it is to move around, period. When you're 7 foot tall and your body's been through what the Undertaker's body's been through, when he's got the body of a 60-year-old, even though he's like, early 50s, Mark Calloway is. So like, no, I'd say probably early, mid to late 50s is where he's at. But his body's probably in the 70s to 80s range. Like the man probably has some issues like getting around a little bit, and so when you like man,
right,
don't expect Big Show to be doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, don't expect Show to be don't expect Paul White to be in there doing the giant shit, and he might be in there for a spot or two, but the bulk of his deal with AEW, he's gonna be sitting behind the commentating booth.
Yeah.
But he's also given heart and soul to that entire wrestling business. So he should just like with Sting. I wasn't mad with Sting signing with AEW because he wants to end his career on his terms. And he's earned the right to do that.
I was going to say the same thing. They deserve to go out how they want at this point. Because at the end of the day, they are all very real with the fact that this is it for them. And we're going to get into it later on. But obviously, everyone that has walked into AEW who is obviously on that list, Big Show, Paul White, Sting, now we're talking Christian Cage. These are all people that have been open about the fact that this is their way out. That this is their sign off, right? But bridging off of that, I think Sting throughout this whole Team Taz feud, alongside Darby Allin, have done a really good job of making Brian Cage look like a Kratos fucking behemoth level titan, and Brian Cage, obviously, I'm a fan of Lucha Underground. I'm a fan of PWG, so I'm very privy to his work. I've been looking at Brian Cage a lot, and I've talked about him a long time ago. I'm real into Brian Cage, and this whole time they've done a very good job of making it look like he can essentially rip anyone in fucking half, like fucking Megatron, right? And Ricky Starks as well.
Phone book, baby.
Yeah, yeah, and Ricky Starks too. I wasn't even really really too knowledgeable in his work up until he came into AEW.
Yeah,
But the more that I've been exposed to him, I think he's a pretty solid worker too, and I think he did some good work in that match.
for sure. For sure.
Solid shit, and we're gonna get into it a little bit more later on, but Darby Allin is a fucking godsend. I'm sorry, Darby Allin has put the past like 2 months for me of AEW on his fucking back, and this show was a big part of that.
All right. So prior to that, you had the Hangman Adam Page and the Scorpio Sky victory in the face of the Revolution match. No, I was saying we got. I was mentioning both of those matches. Yeah. Adam Page, I kind of liked the storyline that was going on with him, with everybody recruiting him and everything. I think it's in my
Dark
personal
Order being his weird follow group, right?
Yeah, like I think that it's kind of drug on a little too long. I seriously think it's time to like wrap it up and have him either decide to be completely solo or roll with somebody, and maybe that somebody is the Dark Order. I do like the combination and the iteration that it is drawn up of Matt Hardy's little stable. With Private really Party and the Butcher and the Blade. I think they finally made Private Party unique. I think they've probably made Private Party their own type of thing, because like we said, like for the longest time I looked at Private Party as the knockoff Street Profits. Even though Private Party came first, they still felt like a great value Walmart brand Street Profits. So
and we talked about it because it came down to which one has more personality, right?
Yep, pretty much. It's Montez Ford is the major difference, because like don't get me wrong, Angelo Dawkins is great as a hype man and as that side man, but Montez Ford is what gives them their pop. Whereas like I'll use a complete contrast to you. And no, I am not bringing up these two different tag teams because they're both black guys. No, the similarities are more so in the promo area. Unlike Crime Time, who were great together on the mic together. For me, I have to say that that basically, unlike Crime Time, Montez Ford is the energy that drives the promo for them. And Angelo Dawkins, like I said, he's more of a hype man around. Not to say he can't cut a decent promo, but Tez is the better promo guy out of the two of them. He kind of drives their promos. Whereas, like I said, no, nothing wrong with it at all.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was saying is the major difference. I still haven't seen that promo type stuff out of Private Party, but I think that their allegiance with Matt Hardy is definitely a positive. All right. So yeah, with Private Party, I haven't really seen that yet, but I'm hoping to see it in the future. I'm hoping that the reason why they're hiding them kind of behind Matt is because they're trying to keep them to keep them from seeing their weak point, keep the crowd from focusing in on their weak point, which is promos. Like, I hate to say it, but it's promos. And so because of that, I like what they're doing with them. I don't know about pairing them with the Butcher and the Blade. We'll see how that works out. But I definitely enjoy what they're doing with that. And then as far as Matt Hardy goes, I think he's a multimillionaire from his time in WWE anyway. So how much is losing his first quarter earnings really going to hurt him? No. They call him Big Money Matt for a reason, right?
That's a funny one. That's funny. No, I don't know if you've seen Matt Hardy's house, but please go ahead and look up a picture. It's fucking massive. I really love Hangman Page. I dig his whole gimmick. I love everything he does. And I do like AEW's commitment to long-term booking. But I think it is finally time to pull the trigger on if Hangman Page is going to do a heel turn and turn on the Dark Order and go on his own, or if we're going to see Hangman Page turn face and join the now face Dark Order. Yeah. I do like the Dark Order, and I can see him joining it. It's just they got to pick one at this point, in my opinion. It was a real solid match against Matt. I always love to see fucking Matt, and I do think Matt Hardy has a history of taking people under his wing and really, really helping people learn new stuff, especially as he's paired with younger people. And so, as I would imagine, Matt is genuinely giving Party a lot of pointers as they go through this process, And I agree with you there. Private Party needs to distinguish itself and really, really find a spot of its own in a market where you have a lot of dudes with a lot of fucking personality, a lot, especially in terms of tag teams. There's a lot of guys who are unbelievably close, who are bleeding with personality and good physical work rate. And
Guys
Private
like
Party
MSK.
has exactly guys like MSK, exactly. Private Party has a lot of potential, but I do want to see them really break into their own some more. And I think Matt Hardy's going to do a lot to help smooth that over the next year or so. And I do think I can see them doing you can obviously see this is going to lead up to them eventually breaking away from Big Money Matt as their tyrannical mentor. And I do actually really like we've already seen the I like money gimmick in wrestling a million times, right?
Right.
And so I do like the fact that it's like, oh, they're not just fighting because I hate you. Fuck you. No, fuck you. This is Big Money Matt putting his first quarter fiscal earnings on the line. And then suddenly you put all that businessman jargon in there, and suddenly it's more than just a fucking grudge match. And it still sounds better than I'm putting some money on the line. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what it is?
I do like that setup a lot. Go ahead, though.
You know what it is truly better than?
What?
I'm going to put $10,000 in a bag and hang it above the ring. And one of these two tag teams is going to win $10,000. Yeah, right, motherfucker.
$10,000 on a pole match. You know what's
Who competed in
somewhere.
that match? Who competed in that match?
Oh shit! You got me there. Oh wait. I can't say who, but let me guess where though. That's got to be WCW. Ah, fuck.
WWF. And if I remember correctly, it was Matt and Jeff Hardy when they were with the Brood. And they were actually facing Edge and Christian.
Oh my fucking God. Is that when they were fighting over the services of Gangrel?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I tripping? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say they were fighting over the services of Gangrel.
And it was like something like $2,000 in the bag and a contract to have Gangrel work with them.
Yeah.
And yes. So whenever I think Matt Hardy and money on the line, that's the match I go to.
That would have been really fucking funny if they did anything in reference to that. Now I'm kind of sad that they did.
All right, so
let's break into that. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it. What match were you looking to get into next?
I'd say you want to break into that multi-man match now. That
boy Scorpio Sky, baby.
Yes, that Face of the Revolution ladder match. I want to talk about that.
My boy Scorpio Sky finally getting his just due as a singles competitor. Go ahead. That boy can go. So, and to be honest with you, him and Darby Allin put on a hell of a match on Dynamite. And there was a complete and utter, should we call it heel turn? I don't know.
I'd call it a heel turn. Call it a heel turn. Yeah, man. So, it's a surprise. The workhorse and the guy who's willing to kill himself put on an amazing match, right?
Mm-hmm. But you take it away with that particular ladder match. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Yeah,
man. To put it in short, it was a great match. I've put it in I've vocalized it many times. I love multi-man ladder matches. I love the chaos. I love all the spots. I don't really look at them as seriously as I would, one-on-one competitive matches. So I have a bit more fun with them. But I'm always happy to see someone like Scorpio Sky come out on top, not just for the sake of, oh, bro, it's the swerve, but because I like the idea in AEW that really anyone can come up and get a title opportunity, whether it be through the mid card or the mainstay title. I always love to see Cody Rhodes work, even if his tattoo makes me fucking uncomfortable.
Which one? The American Nightmare one?
I want to love it so badly, but man, it's right there. Come on, man. Such an odd person. I love Cody though.
Hey, the only tattoo that's ever creeped me out is the Undertaker when that fool had Sarah tattooed
across
all right
his
through
fucking jugular. Across his fucking jugular.
I'm like, that's how you know you love a bitch. When you ready to have her name tattooed right here, that tells all
right
other
there.
women that you are taken.
And then 5 years later, he got it covered up.
Yep. Well, you know, shit, I'd have
Michelle
a lot of
McCool moment.
I was gonna say, I'd have a lot of things covered up for Michelle McCool. Damn it! Whatever bothered her, I'd have it covered up. Oh, the next door neighbors are bothering you? Fuck it, we'll throw a tent over their whole house, over their whole anchorage, all of it.
Yeah, no, I remember hearing someone was like, "How much older is Michelle McCool than Undertaker?" And I was like, "And it's Michelle McCool.
It's Michelle McCool.
You want
exactly?
Undertaker being the fucking dude? Are you gonna look him in the eyes and be like, what is wrong with you dating Michelle McCool?
Yeah.
Fool."
He you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna grab you by the top of your head. He's gonna turn you in her direction. He's gonna pry open your eyes and he's gonna look at you and go, "Would you pass that up?" If you would, I think you need to make a trip down to San Francisco, bro, and go holler at some people, all right? Because if you wouldn't turn that up, then yeah, the problem is you.
You got some problems. But man, I'm a big fan of Pentagon, and I really like his singles push, and I really like that of the Death Triangle. They're banking on Phoenix and Pac as a team, and I really like seeing Pentagon really go to the top of the card, because in my opinion he really suits the title picture no matter where he goes. Lance Archer for me has gone from a blatant disappointment to someone who is actually an amazing worker, and I really like his current look and his current gimmick.
Awesome. The Murder Hawk.
I love that Jake Roberts is with him. Yeah, the Murder Hawk. I love that Jake Roberts is his follower. I dig that shit a lot. Yeah. And then obviously we had Max Caster, and then we had the debuting Ethan Page, all ego Ethan Page. I don't quite have any strong opinions about him.
Where is he from? Was he in?
I'm sorry, like I know that wasn't even an insult, but all I think of is when Booker T showed up. The "Who are you?" When Booker T showed up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was say no, but no. Who is he really?
Ethan Page is from Impact. He was an Impact mainstay for a real long time.
Okay, that would explain why.
He's been an Impact mainstay probably like 2013, 2014 onward, I believe, and he's done a lot of real good work there. It was really weird seeing him in AEW, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, you know. He just adds to their wealth of really solid indie guys. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and act like he deserves an instant title match, but I'm not gonna say he's a low card guy either. You know.
Okay, fair enough.
Overall, it was a really fucking good match. I really liked the spots, and I really liked Scorpio Sky coming out on top. You know, I really liked this fucking match. I probably hold this one in high regard as the one from a few years back in NXT when they debuted the North American title, and that was when EC3 and Lars Sullivan, Velveteen Dream, Adam Cole, and Ricochet, and it was just that banging ass ladder match. For me, this was on that level.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the one that Adam Cole won, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It's a really solid ladder match, though. Really solid ladder match. You know, if it's any one of these matches that you should go watch, it would probably be that one.
Okay. All right.
Let's talk about the women's matches. I'll break into that.
All right.
You know, I'm a huge fan of Japanese women's wrestling. I love that strong style shit.
I was gonna say, it's a lot harder of a style than American. I was gonna say it's a lot harder of a style than American women's wrestling.
Yeah, no, like, it's way more harsher of a style.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like especially what I'm not used to, especially through European or like even traditional male Japanese wrestling. Most of the time, there's a lot of focus on sounds, right? You know, like the slapping, the thunking, the meaty thwack of a calf on someone's chest or some shit like that, right? Mm-hmm. Female Japanese wrestling is so fucking hard and stiff. There's no like soft, like those are soft noises there. There's nothing but hard. Like it sounds like they're elbowing fucking pumpkins. Like they're just smacking gourds and shit, dude. It's just they love to hurt each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad though. And as per usual, Hikaru Shida is extremely fucking consistent. So is Rio. And I'm really into their style, and I really dug their match.
Right. Here's a quick question on that specific subject. Who the hell was the K-pop broad on AEW this week? At the beginning of that six-woman, yeah, at the beginning of that six-woman tag match, the last girl that came out, and all she did was sit there and she sat there and sang her entire.
Oh my fucking god! Yeah, no, when they were she kept going with her fucking entrance.
Yeah,
middle while they were fucking beating the shit out of each other. Yeah,
I was just like, okay,
yeah, no, fucking golden, dude.
I would say I would kind of like you because once she actually got to wrestling, I kind of liked her whole style, with the headbutts and all that. But that intro just was like, okay, that could have been about a minute shorter and we'd all been good. Just a minute shorter.
I know what you mean. You either love it or you hate it, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I've seen a lot of gimmicks of the I'm gonna walk down to the ring while actually singing my theme, and I've seen it in Mexico, and I've seen it in Japan a few times, if I'm not mistaken. But seeing her do it throughout them beating the shit out of each other was pretty fucking funny. But I do wish I could have seen more physicality out of her. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm like, wait a minute, your teammates are getting beat out of them, and you are singing. What are you doing?
Move, bitch.
There is 3 of them and 2 of your teammates waiting on you, and you singing. But anyway, it was a great
about the juice.
Yeah, exactly.
The juice.
but take us on that ride with that Miro and Kip Sabian.
Yeah, let's roll with that.
All right.
I at first I didn't quite take too big of a shine to the team of Miro and Kip Sabian, even though I do like them both. But I really liked the way that this match went. I fucking adore Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor, so I'm always happy to see them work. Orange Cassidy has very much grown on me. But Miro looked really strong in this match. He looked really strong, and everything looked like everyone sold everything he did like he was just breaking everyone in fucking half with his fists. And when he got a submission in, much like he used to when he would get it on people like Kalisto, he really folded the motherfucker like a lawn chair.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I like how strong Miro looks consistently when it comes to actual in-ring action.
Being folded like lawn chairs.
There you go. Yes, you're getting it now. Motherfuckers twist. But I like Miro looking strong. Sure. And I really hope that Miro is going to be able to keep branching out, and I really hope they'll actually put him on his own, because I like Miro in tag teams, but I think he's at his best when he's just this invader Russian, I'm better than you at everything you can do,
super athlete, the Russian super athlete.
You paint the image of Dolph Lundgren looking down at you, right?
I am Ivan Drago. I will break you.
Yeah. Yes. There you go.
It's one of my favorite scenes when he slams his hand down on Rocky's hands, like, I will break you. Yeah, no, I feel, definitely the Miro character feels very similar to the first about 2 years of what was then Rusev career in WWE, where he just seemed like this unstoppable monster, and they got him back to looking like that.
Yeah. I
will admit,
more accurately, I'm happy that they're bringing him back to that. Right.
Yeah. Well, and what's funny is that this is one place where I will agree with our guest from last week, Mr. Hemphill, when he says that the kayfabe wall being broken is kind of to an extent ruined wrestling. And the reason for that is because I think one of the things that the reason why I agree is with him in particular. I believe that Rusev's career started going downhill really when it got out that him and Lana were married. And the reason why I say that, is that when she stopped being just a valet and she started being his wife, they started throwing more personal storylines in there, as opposed to just keeping her as basically playing the role of the hype woman, the blonde Russian chick in Rocky IV. the hype woman that was,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Instead of keeping her in that role and keeping him in that rugged, like, you know what I'm saying, monster Russian role, they tried to humanize them, and by acknowledging their relationship so that they could exploit it on Total Divas. And I thought that was kind of the downward spiral of his believability as a monster, you know what I'm saying, wrestler, and lost a lot of his juice when they did that.
I feel that. I see that. That's the thing about that curtain being pulled back now. It's you can build up a face however you can nowadays, but it's really hard to make someone really believable as a monster or an asshole or a this or a that, especially when it comes to Miro's presentation. Yep. And so when you pull that curtain back, there's only so many layers you can pull that back before suddenly that suspension of disbelief is a lot harder to attach to it. Does that make sense?
To put a comedy spin on it, it's like when you're watching The Waterboy and you get towards the end of the movie, and Coach Klein is sitting there and he's like, just imagine him. It's something that you love. That's nice. And he looks over, and the bully and the guy that had been bullying him for years, all of a sudden now is this like cute little puppy sitting there going, he's just, you know, and it's like that. To an extent, that's effectively what they did to Rusev, is they put him on this
through those goggles. I see
right.
That. You're not nonsensical. I get that. Yeah. I get that.
But anyway, so like, but that match in itself, I have yet to see. I only saw highlights on Dynamite, and it looked, like you said, it looked like a damn good match. Looked like they beat, like, Best Friends got their shots in too, as well as Miro and Kip dominating.
Yeah, they got some offense in. Yeah, they did. It's good stuff. Right. Rolling upward now. Let's go to the tag team match. We had Rey Fenix. Sorry, not the tag team match. What am I saying now? Rey Fenix representing the Death Triangle, going against Jungle Boy representing the Jurassic Express. It came down.
Well, there were more people in there, but it came down to just them.
It came down to the end of them.
To them in the end, and once again, heard good things about it on whatchamacallit, but you're gonna have to take us through that match.
Yeah, the way that this was structured was really interesting. Mm-hmm. It is sort of like a weird tag team Royal Rumble, almost, I guess. To connect it to anything and to draw any type of picture in your head, it is kind of like that. But it isn't like the weird Survivor Series tag thing where if one person is eliminated, both are eliminated.
Yeah, you actually have to eliminate both people.
It was pretty interesting, but it wasn't bad. I always love to see these collection of people work, and I've voiced my unbridled fucking love for Jungle Boy before. But I do really like Rey Fenix. Watching a lot of Lucha Underground, I have an understanding that he's a really fucking good worker, and I like his style. He's as the other brother to Pentagon. You have Pentagon, who is very rough and rugged and very technical, grind down style. You have Rey Fenix, who is essentially high flying Messiah, King Flippy shit, not named Ricochet.
Flippy shit, love it.
It's really good shit, and Jungle Boy is a lot of the same way. When it comes to Jungle Boy, you can pretty much bet on seeing some innovative offense, something that you haven't quite seen before. And so these guys are incredible high flying workers, and I really liked it.
All right,
it was good shit. It's solid stuff.
And what about the tag team match itself for the belts?
Oh shit. Okay. Well, as you would expect, on paper, the idea of Matt and Nick Jackson versus Chris Jericho and MJF, it draws a picture to you of four great fucking workers. It's really interesting seeing this and thinking about what happened in this match, especially considering what happened on Dynamite following the show. But the Young Bucks did what the Young Bucks do, spot fest, super kick, amazing physicality. Even if there was some story bits lost in translation of it at some points, but whereas you have MJF and Jericho, who are the exact fucking opposite. They are not spot. They are very much technical storytelling. Grind and storytelling. And of course Jericho can hit the ropes, but for the most part you'll notice Jericho has a style that every beat of his match is like a plot point in the story of the match, and it very much follows that.
Okay.
There's a lot of the story told here of the imminent implosion of the inner circle coming within the next week, and looking back on it, I really dig that. I really like not the foreshadowing, but the blossoming fucking explosion of it. I really like it, and it's a chance to see the Young Bucks do what the Young Bucks are best at. High octane shit, and I'm always happy to see these matches always be in the first 2 or 3 matches of the show, because in my opinion, these are really the ones that'll start up the crowd if there was a bigger one, right?
Fair enough. All right.
It was a really solid show. In all, it was a really solid show. As you'll mostly see, AEW doesn't consistently hit the A category for me, but they usually drop into the B or a C plus, and they're always going to hit that solid mark for me. They're really consistent, and obviously, coming here at the very end, mostly because it wasn't an actual physical match, we did see Christian Cage.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Christian Cage, who came out and revealed himself as to be the Secret One signing after all this speculation. And if I'm being honest, realistically, we should have expected it to be Christian Cage. But as we learn more about how it happened, you can see it was very abrupt and very impromptu. Not to say that it wasn't calculated or smart, because in my opinion,
go ahead.
This is fucking great. Go ahead though. Go ahead.
Well, just like with Show. Christian's not in AEW because WWE didn't want him. Christian's in AEW because WWE creatively just didn't have anything for him.
It was a money.
They have dispute. A lot, right? They have enough talent right now that WWE can be picky. We are not. Everybody thought this, and at the beginning it was like this. Everybody thought that as soon as AEW established themselves, that Vince was going to be paying like he did in the WCW, everybody he can to avoid them going to AEW. He'll pay him whatever he needs to pay him. And some of these legends, I can guarantee you, some of these legends thought that they were going to cash Vince out when their contracts got up. And I think what we're learning now is Vince is like, look, y'all, I got people. I really
Vince
don't need to cash you out.
Adding zeros anymore.
Exactly. Go to AEW if you want to go to AEW. If they'll pay you that there, shit. That's how Ted ran WCW into the water, was trying to outbid Vince and overpaying wrestlers for contracts that they didn't deserve. Not to say that that's what Tony Khan has done or is doing. I'm just saying that's Vince's attitude about it.
That's how he ran people out of this shit. No, you're right.
Exactly.
You're not coming at this like AEW's fucking up. You're coming at it like, look, how did Vince make a monopoly on the wrestling business? Because he essentially made WCW bankrupt themselves trying to buy out his fucking talent.
Yep. And so I think Vince has already come to realize that AEW is going to be there, and kind of like TNA, kind of like ROH, they're going to be a nuisance, but they're not really going to be a threat. And so I think at this point, and I think it's proven in one story that was told by Paul Wright immediately after signing with AEW, where he told a story where he said Vince McMahon called him personally after hearing of his signing with AEW and congratulated him, wished him the best, and told him there was no hard feelings, that he understood. It was just Big Show. Like I said to a guy in one of the doldrums, the AEW fan page comment sections, Big Show valued himself more than WWE valued him. And what I mean by that is not that, he still has he didn't have anything in the tank, or WWE thought he couldn't go. It's that Big Show saw himself as worth a certain amount financially. And
they didn't meet him there.
Exactly. And WWE did not see him as enough of a draw to meet those financial demands. Because understand, that's what it boils down to for Vince.
Yeah.
is okay. If you want X amount of dollars, okay, you've established a name for yourself. You want X amount of dollars. Is bringing you in going to generate enough money to denote to make it okay that I'm paying you as much as I am? Somebody like Brock Lesnar, yeah. Brock's going to bring enough eyes just by Brock Lesnar being on the card that he's going to make up for the $10 million a year that Vince pays him. Okay,
Yeah.
it's just that
in
simple.
pure public generated revenue, it's
Right.
all about name value.
Exactly. And so at the end of the day, both Christian, I heard it was partially creative too. Like WWE just didn't really have anything. Yeah, they had Edge and they had Edge building his storyline, but they just didn't think they had anything for him creatively. And on top of that, it was that number, that magic number. They didn't want to hit that because they didn't feel that he was going to bring enough to the product. And they may have been wrong about that. But that's why places like AEW, Impact, ROH exist. Because think of what happened.
Exactly.
Drew McIntyre went there, proved himself, came back, and now he's the WWE champion. Bobby Roode proved himself in Impact before jumping to WWE and has been a consistent worker ever since. As much as people say, oh, they misused him, he has been a consistent worker ever since he got to WWE. It's sad that James Storm couldn't have followed him over. I would have loved to see Beer Money on WWE TV.
God, man, I need it. God, his tryout on NXT, I wish he went through with it, bro.
Yep.
Kills me. Sorry, go ahead.
But other than that, AEW does an amazing job, and they're bringing in great talent. But here's the problem, and I'm going to address the signings of Christian and Paul White directly. Christian moves the needle a little bit. Big Show doesn't move the needle at all, or Paul White doesn't move the needle at all. Only because I don't think Paul White really has that much left in ring. Like maybe a feud or two left in him, but I don't think he has like consistent in-ring work left in him. Christian moves the needle a little bit because he gives them another big player in their main event picture, but you already got a bunch of players in your main event picture. You already got Chris Jericho. You already got John Moxley. So you're just adding another name. So he moves the needle in regards to name recognition because he's Christian Cage, but but not by a lot. Because he's not a game. It's not like when they signed Moxley. Moxley was a game-changing talent that definitely moved the needle in AEW's favor. But neither one of these signings, and I'm sorry to say it, Brody Lee as well, as much as I love him, he doesn't really move the needle. So at this point in time, really, all AEW has done is pacify their own fans. They haven't really, and I'm sorry to say this, but their numbers show it, especially the numbers for this week's Dynamite coming out of a pay-per-view of only 700,000 viewers, and there wasn't really much competition on outside of NXT. I think it's shown. Well, let's get to that real quick. A lot of that had to do with people's disappointment in that ending, and it shows you how a finish like that to an amazing pay-per-view can have immediate impact on people liking or disliking your product. Because
let me break in right there. Yeah, man, I see what you mean though. Like, there's nothing wrong with really looking at that lineup, because at the end of the day, when I look at AEW and I jokingly say, haha, what is Christian Cage doing in the AEW zone? And when I jokingly say shit like that, it's not because it's like AEW signing WWE guys, because in reality, take a look at the wrestling world. Anybody with any real recognition, like some real recognition, anybody who can really push the needle, as you say, has some way, shape, or form had a run in with WWE, whether it be a tryout with NXT, with main roster, whether it was good or bad. WWE has taken a look in their direction. They have some way that went through it in their past, probably. There's a big chance of that. But I only say that because you're right. I'm not going to say that AEW is picking up like the scraps of WWE's roster, but it is a little bit of a consistency here that everyone who has been going to WWE, I mean, everybody that has been crossing over to AEW are people that simply weren't being used or were being undervalued in WWE. And at the end of the day, it's like, it seems the only one who was really outbidded at any point was, as you say, Jon Moxley. He was the only one that was really outbidded. You can tell people like, and as much as I fucking hate to say it, look, we're not going to have another 10 years of Jericho. Yeah. I fucking love Jericho to death, but we have Jericho for maybe 5-6 years at fucking most.
At most.
That,
and he has other aspirations in his career.
That's true. He has a lot of other aspirations, yeah. And I imagine, there's going to be a point when he's going to stop doing WWE for his body. I mean, he's going to stop wrestling for his body and continue with all of his other projects, right? But at the end of the day here, and I know he's going to continue to contribute to the wrestling business.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But you are right. You are right there in the sense that when you think about it, other than people like Brody Lee, AEW has to really start sweeping up these big picks that are going to take them for the long term, and that are going to be able to build them. And CM Punk said it best. They asked CM Punk, "Who do you want to see most in AEW?" CM Punk says, "I think AEW should work on AEW. I think AEW should build AEW."
And that's 100% true.
Not just because I'm a CM Punk mark, but because he's speaking straight facts. All of the best things about AEW right now are its homegrown shit, dude. Darby Allin, Brian Cage, people like Jungle Boy, pickups like the Death Circle, things like that. And people like the Death Circle because it's 3 young men who are going to be able to carry them for a minute. And they need to keep banking on shit like that.
Amen. All right, so let's take a quick break. Quick podcast promo break. We've been doing almost an hour for the top half of the show.
Ooh,
so
there we go.
We'll probably run about 40 minutes for the second half, talking a little WWE, Raw, SmackDown, etc. But stay with us, folks. We're going to take this promo break, and then we shall be right back right here on the Cheap Pop Podcast. You're listening to the Cheap Pop Podcast right here on the 4Aces Presents Radio Network. Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and wherever you may find your favorite podcasts.
From the galactic depths of the comic book universe comes the ghosts of the stratosphere, ready to galvanize and energize your mind with the latest of comic book news and reviews. And why are you stopping me? Yes, that's much better. Hi, this is Andy Larson for Ghosts of the Stratosphere. Join me every week along with my co-hosts Rob Stewart and Chad Smith, as well as a cavalcade of fantastic comic book guests, as we dish out heaping helpings of the greatest and latest of comic book news and reviews. New shows posted every Tuesday with bonus shows every first Friday of the month. You can find us on iTunes and Stitcher under Ghosts of the Stratosphere, as well as on our website, www.gotstratosphere.com. Hope to see you soon, folks.
Hey guys, this is Venice, and I've got a message from a friend of mine about my favorite podcast.
It's your boy, Flavor Flav in full effect. Check this out, everybody. I want y'all to go check out TJ.
What's good, everybody? TJ Johnson here for Voice from the Underground. I am the most handsome.
Big Hass.
And I'm smoking my cigar, of course.
You know what I'm saying? The Dutch.
You pick me up in an Uber and a PT Cruiser, I'm calling Lyft.
Cause they be fighting the power, talking about social issues, politics, you know what I'm saying?
And we're not even that good.
Right, we're terrible. Terrible. Tangents all over the place.
And not only that, but they be keeping it fun with the sports, music, comics, and movies too.
Am I allowed to talk?
I think no, not right now.
Shut up, colonizer!
You know what I'm saying? He on Twitter at VFU Podcast. So you can find them. So check 1, 2. This is Flavor Flav. Yeah, boy.
Okay, what Flav was trying to say is, check out Voice from the Underground on your favorite podcast network.
Voice from the Underground.
So, what's up? Steve Fingerstyles here, the host of the podcast, spelled DA, of course. Tune in each and every week to hear what pisses me off, what angers me, what I make fun of, and of course, my crazy rants. I also have incompetent co-hosts, cool guests, and a silent producer that sucks. So what more do you need from a podcast? You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud, and the Pod Bros Network. Peace.
And we're back. Yo, y'all, what's up? All right. So
Here
hope
we
y'all
go.
enjoyed that little podcast promo break there, or the Four Aces lineup break if you're watching us here on YouTube. All right. So I gotta stop saying I'm gonna tell myself that live on there. I gotta stop saying anyway. So NXT, man, was pretty damn good this week. And we're gonna kick off with them primarily because they kicked off with some history or partial history and partial just wow, like what should end up being something amazing. William Regal came out to the ring, and first he announced that the next takeover will be the week of April 7th, which is the week of WrestleMania, and it'll be a 2-night event on called Stand and Deliver.
Yeah,
it'll be 2 nights.
Which is a great fucking badass name for a pay-per-view.
Exactly. It'll be 2 nights. I believe it'll be a total of 4 hours. And you will have Wednesday night live on USA for the first night. And the second night will be strictly on Thursday night on Peacock, on the Peacock app. So
so the first half will be on the network?
Yeah. No, the first half will be on USA on live TV.
Shit.
The second half will be on the network.
And the first half won't be on Peacock in any way?
I don't think so. Like it'll be the regular airing of US.
Move. That's not a bad move.
Yeah. So
okay.
Kind of they effectively WWE's done this before. This is effectively part of the reason why NXT was on the network to begin with. Was because WWE wanted you to have to get the network. They're trying to get people to subscribe to the network. They're trying to get people to subscribe to Peacock. They probably in their contract with Peacock promised them that they could bring them X amount of new viewers and or new subscriptions, and they're trying to deliver on that promise by forcing people to do it to get the second night. But I like it because it's going to be an event. It's basically their takeover. I think this is where you see the effects of COVID, because I think if they could do WrestleMania as a 1-night event on Sunday and just Sunday, I think NXT would have been on Saturday, and we wouldn't have this 2-night event on Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, I agree.
I genuinely do.
As everyone would expect, we've usually come to see TakeOver the night before Mania, but now that we're going to have Mania being 2 nights as well, obviously, so now we're going to have Mania weekend, which is going to be something that we had last year, but it isn't something that I don't think anybody thought would be a consistency. And if I'm being quite honest, I prefer this only when it comes to the Mania section, and we're going to get into that a little bit later on, because it's a little bit more digestible to do 4 hours and 4 hours than 9.5 hours of wrestling in one fucking sitting, right?
No shit.
But I don't see where NXT really needs to break up the time like this, other than to entice people to watch the USA Network, as well as, like you said, get a Peacock subscription, load it up, and get that other half on the network, right? Or through that. And so I can see the logic in it as a businessman.
Of course.
But as a customer, I will say it's a pain in the ass. But it's not a stupid move, and I'm with it though, because I know at the end of the day, obviously, we're used to once again here, the takeover before Mania is essentially NXT's little Mania. Right. Everyone knows that the takeover before Mania is supposed to serve as the end to a massive amount of feuds, the call ups to a lot of people, the debuts to even more people, and because it's building up, we're probably going to see the debut of people like LA Knight, which is going to be fucking awesome, right?
Yep. Amen. And okay, here's the thing with NXT as well. And I actually wouldn't mind Mania going to a 2-night event, like on a regular basis. But NXT has always put up amazing shows, especially. And this week, think about it like this. This time around, you're getting half the show for free. It's going to be on network television.
Exactly.
half of the show is going to be on network television. So it's going to be something that's pretty amazing and new. And as far as signing up for the Peacock app, I know we'll talk. I'll probably talk a little bit more about this next week. But I've watched. I got the Peacock app. I signed up for the $14.99 so I could get the on-demand stuff with no commercials. And
yep, I'm doing the adless version. Fuck all that.
Right. and so, but the great thing about it is that if you get a chance, bro, when you sign up, watch the new Saved by the Bell. It's actually done very well. Yeah, I've actually watched the entire first season now. Was very well, was very happy with how they integrated all of the older stuff and stuff like that. I think I told you about this before, but there's a scene with Mario Lopez where two of the kids are arguing over the same girl, right? And they're having this like competition, and Mario Lopez pulls both the boys into the office. And one of the boys is Zach Morris's son, right? And the other boy is Jesse Spanos, is Jesse's son, right? And Mario Lopez is like, "Look, guys, I remember getting into a battle with my best friend over the same girl, man." He goes, "Wait a minute. Matter of fact, it was your dad. And it was over your mom." Like just little moments like that make you laugh about it and are nostalgic. And all of the characters, with an exception for Dustin Diamond, made their way back into the show. Lark Voorhees shows up for like an episode. Zach and Kelly are there. Jesse Spano, cool, Mario Lopez is there. Like they even bring back for a single episode the guy that was running the Max. Because they bring the Max back, and so he's there serving the new kids. Like, yeah, they even have this joke where they're like, where this one girl keeps asking, like, "Why do all the Bayside seniors look like they're in their 60s?" And she's like, "Look, that guy's wearing a veteran's hat. Like what's going on?" Like, but just little jokes like that that will crack you up and that will cause you to remember fondly the days of the original Saved by the Bell.
Classic.
So at the end of the day, watch it. We'll talk about it on the show when we get a chance. It's a great thing to watch. It's only 10 episodes, so. But there's that. If you like the George Lopez show, Peacock has a George Lopez show, the entire series from beginning to end. Oh yeah. So like there's just little things like that. So, but anyway, but the move over to Peacock looks to be one that's going to be a good move for them, for WWE. But let me see. But all right, so like. NXT opened this week with that Stand and Deliver announcement.
Yeah.
Then William Regal brought every dream I ever had true all in one night. Not only did he unveil the brand new NXT Women's Tag Team Championships after Adam Pearce robbed Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai the chance of winning him the week before, which
is so much better of a way to present them, other than, well, fuck, the main roster has some too.
Yeah, and so William Regal righted that wrong by announcing that Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai were your inaugural women's champions. Now, I wasn't too happy about this to start the night. By the end of the night, I was a much happier man.
Son of a bitch.
But and of course, after they're given the belts and they cut their promo, the girls that they faced off with in what I would call at least a 4.5, if not 5-star match at the last pay-per-view event. Or for the at the last NXT pay-per-view event, the last takeover, Vengeance Day, I would say that their match was about 4.5, 5 stars with Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. My girls, I love me some Ember Moon, and Shotzi's from my hometown, or from my hometown area. She's from the Yay area. So like, yeah, like much love for them girls. And yeah, they came out, they challenged them. And, it ended up being that all the belts were going to be defended this week on NXT, which kind of baffles me as to why NXT's numbers this week were so low. I think they barely did 500,000 viewers on live TV.
Yeah.
But they had Cole versus Balor for the NXT title. They had not Johnny Gargano. Who defended the NXT North American title? I could have swore that was the other one that was defended. It was the women's tag team titles.
It was the women's tag team titles. And then you had
the NXT title.
It was the NXT title.
And then you had the North American title defended, right?
Was it? Am I tripping?
Was it?
Let me get the card. You got the card? You want to pull up the card?
Here, I'll find the
pull
card.
Up the card. Let me see. Get the card. Was the North American Championship defended?
I don't remember.
Because I know the NXT Championship, and I know obviously there was the new titles, and then I'm blanking.
Oh, the women's title. My bad. It was Io Shirai.
The women's title.
Io Shirai and Toni Storm.
I was gonna say no. That wasn't defended. Okay, yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it was Io Shirai and fucking
Toni Storm.
Toni Storm, yeah. Toni Storm. This is the build up because I forgot. Yeah, they've been building this up for a minute because I've told you before. Toni Storm and Io Shirai feuded massively on the Indies, and they had a really long, in-depth feud in Japan when Toni Storm went to Japan as well.
Yeah.
And that's what all this was banked after. You'll notice there's a lot of people in the past week who've gone online and posted a lot of the different pictures, especially the stare down that they had a few years back. And This is all much like AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. This is their big homage to that feud in more ways than one.
I think we're getting just so you know, a quick early dip into the SmackDown review. I think we're getting Seth Rollins and Nakamura at WrestleMania this year.
You think so? That's an interesting call.
Did you see that stare down?
I see where you're going now. No, I get it now.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, wait. No, we'll talk about that in a minute. I got you there. But
yeah.
Yeah, no, I was really surprised with NXT's performance in terms of viewership over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And so I am beginning to think, though, do you think that it could have been a bad idea to move NXT onto weekly network television? And what I mean by that is, do you think NXT is better served where it was as a network faithful show, where it was not like more small time, and I'm not going to say it was a little more indie, but when I don't know about you, but you can kind of notice the tilt that NXT has been on a little bit ever since it's been put on the USA Network alongside other stuff. And so I question at this point if NXT is struggling a bit because of that, because it's been consistently getting barreled by AEW, even though NXT is putting out some really strong shit, don't you think?
Okay. Thank you for bringing all of that up because it allows me to address multiple things at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't think that NXT's viewership has been as bad as everybody thinks it's been. And the reason why I say it is this. Yeah. I think a lot of people that used to watch it on the network when it was network only still watch it on the network. And I believe, and we can never confirm nor deny this, unfortunately. We can never confirm nor deny this, unfortunately, because we don't know how many people view it next day on the app. We don't know how many people view it next day on Hulu. We don't know how many people view it because they choose to watch AEW, but they DVR NXT.
You're right. You know,
so
that stuff only keeps up with how many people are watching live, either from the network stream or direct to TV.
Right. And here's the thing. I don't think that, and this goes back to the whole thing about people's desire to want to tie the move to Tuesday nights to these butt whoopings that they've been taking in the ratings from NXT. The two have really nothing to do with each other. Go do some research on NBC Universal and them shutting down and USA wanting to purchase the rights to their hockey games and wanting to use Wednesday nights for that reason. So therefore NXT is basically being preempted and moved for hockey, not because of ratings. And here's the reason why. I think that Vince McMahon sold NXT. I think he gave NXT some legitimacy with last year's Survivor Series run, but I think WWE and Vince McMahon sold NXT to USA as a developmental show. I don't care what you want to say. I had a dude that literally took so much offense, he started cussing me out and telling me how Finn Balor and Adam Cole are not developmental and da-da-da-da. I'm like, but dude, anytime
it's
anybody goes...
like...
And finally, I ended up telling him, like, look, dude, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings here, but thank you for sharing your opinions. I'm glad that you have them. But the reality of it is Vince McMahon looks at NXT as a developmental brand. And as long as Vince does and the company does, that's what it is. All the pundits can say whatever the hell they want. All the fans can say whatever the hell they want. Within that company structure, NXT is looked at as a developmental brand. Therefore, I don't think the expectations of ratings are as high as they are with a Raw or a SmackDown. So I think that NXT can get by with 500K viewers every week because Vince knows maybe there's 1.2 million people subscribed to the WWE network. He knows he's probably going to get another 500, 600,000 views off the WWE network. So he knows in total his real numbers may be around the million plus mark every week. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I think from a business standpoint, no, because it gave more eyes. And should they ever shift back to moving NXT back to solely a network or solely a Peacock show, I think that it will help drive downloads and subscriptions for the app in that time. I think all this time that NXT's been on TV, because the reality of it is Vince doesn't need NXT to be on TV in order for NXT to be successful. He needs NXT to grow stars. He needs NXT to grow people who have popularity. And here's where people don't understand when you say, why is Finn Balor and Adam Cole there if they're developmental? Because Finn Balor and Adam Cole can make people stars, period. They know how, they know how to run the game, they know how to tell a story, they know how to teach youngsters to tell a story, and they can get people over to develop that next star. Hence why it's a developmental territory. But at the end of the day, you need seasoned vets to help build these stars. You need credible vets to help build these stars. You don't want to constantly be pulling people from Raw and SmackDown to put these guys over. You need some built-in guys to put these guys over to before they launch off to the main roster. Finn Balor has no desire to go back to the main roster. Adam Cole has no desire to go up to the main roster. These guys are just vets that want to stay down there and can help add to the show. NXT is an amazing product because of it. And so at the end of the day, I say this, was it a mistake for NXT to move to broadcast television? Nah, more eyes are never a bad thing. But do I feel that they could be as successful, if not more, if they were a network exclusive again? Yeah, I do. I do, but I don't think it was a bad move.
I do like that point though, that you brought up. You know, I feel like I've talked about it a little bit, but I do want to expand on the idea that NXT is really fucking good in terms of building people. And when I say that, I mean newer people and people who relatively don't have too much experience. People like Rhea Ripley, people like Eric Rowan actually were brought up mostly through the Performance Center. We see people like Eric Bugenhagen, Lars Sullivan, the Velveteen Dream came up through WWE's litany of training systems, you know? Yeah. And NXT has that. But NXT, in my opinion, does a very fucking good job of filtering and translating indie talent into something that can really be twisted into the WWE style. And the best example of that right now is Damian Priest.
Amen.
Because Punishment Martinez wouldn't even have fit well in NXT.
Yep.
And I say this as a Punishment Martinez fan. And so suddenly he steps in and they decide, you know, you need more personality. So they give him a real gimmick. You know, they give him something solid. They give him some real fucking substance. And then suddenly that substance grows until you have a solid character. And now suddenly that solid character is something really fucking tangible that you can put on the main roster. Whereas looking at it now, Punishment Martinez wouldn't have even had the substance to look good on NXT television, much less on the main roster, whereas he is right now. And my second example for this is usually always Cameron Grimes. I fucking adore Cameron Grimes, and I fucking loved Trevor Lee. Yeah. And I've vocalized that for years now. But Trevor Lee didn't really have a gimmick. Trevor Lee's gimmick was that I am from the South and I'm very good at kicking people. And that was good. But then suddenly he gets to NXT, and now there's Cameron Grimes with a stupid vest and a funny looking hat and a dorky accent. But that all is something that those are all things that compile to make an actual character. Right. Whereas just someone who is, I'm a fucking wrestler. And so NXT is very good at translation and almost transmutation in a way, in terms of changing someone from a diehard indie talent into something that could really be twisted into the WWE style. And so when I say that it's a developmental brand, it's not that you're an amateur or you need more work. And like Keith Lee said it best, just because you've made it to the top doesn't mean you need to stop developing and stop learning necessarily either. But at the end of the day, that's not an insult to say that it's a developmental brand, because it's a great fucking place.
Exactly. Ain't nothing wrong with learning.
Take offense to that shit.
Exactly. But all right. So moving it along, we later in the night saw after seeing the defense of Io Shirai retaining her title against Toni Storm, which was an amazing match. Great storytelling by both the ladies.
Yes.
Of course, they've worked in the ring together multiple times, so you would hope that they have that chemistry
Quite
together.
The chemistry.
Yeah. But then we moved on to my favorite moment of the night, the second title match that took place, which was Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon taking on Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai for the women's tag team title. An ending that I never saw coming. An ending that I never saw coming, man. I swear to you, I thought to myself, there's no way these girls win these belts tonight, because there's no way they have their first ever women's champions hold the belt for like 5 seconds. Kevin was wrong.
And guess what the fuck happened?
Kevin was wrong.
No, you're not wrong for that, especially because it's like, I don't know about you, but it's mostly because it's like, all right, look, they just spent the last year and a half making Raquel Gonzalez look like the most dangerous motherfucker in the room. Are they really going to make her put them over? Goddamn fucking right. We have a lot of support for Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart here on this show. A bit biased for both of them, we are, but yes, it comes from a good fucking place. We were both pretty disappointed to not see them get their comeuppance as of the last takeover.
Mm-hmm.
But like, this was a really good way to do it, because still, despite that, Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai still come off as a better and cohesive team, even though Ember Moon and Shotzi took that dub and got their heat back.
They come up as a very strong team. Very strong.
They do, yeah. They do, yeah. They come off as a very cohesive team, and that's what I like. They have a very good fit together model. Of course, it's like, this has been tried and true a million times over. The smaller, smarter, more nimble heel with the big motherfucker that can throw everybody.
Yep. You got it with AJ Styles and Omos right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So
let's take it back to Nash and Michaels, though. Good.
Yeah, very much so. That was the original.
Yeah.
Or one of the originals, I should say, because you could go back to Bobby the Brain Heenan and Andre the Giant, really. Except Heenan didn't wrestle as much. But okay. But yeah, so that was my moment of the night for NXT there. But
God, do not
the night only got better from there as Adam Cole and Finn Balor. Well, they decided to go on and give guys about a 30-minute match that you could throw in at any wrestling school to teach somebody how to tell a fucking story.
Oh, God, man.
They wrestled their fucking asses off. And the ending to that match, even better.
Fucking God.
Even better. After watching a wrestling clinic be put on for almost 30 minutes, Kyle O'Reilly comes out and shows me a side of him that I will adore for the rest of my life. He put hands on Adam Cole. Okay, y'all got to understand.
Yes.
Like there's fighting somebody, there's whooping somebody, and then there's putting hands on somebody.
Laying fucking smackdown.
And Kyle O'Reilly.
Sacking.
Exactly. He came out in a jean jacket, ready to throw hands, and threw some up in hands with Adam Cole. And when I say throw hands, see, here's the difference, y'all. Throwing hands is normally referred to when two people are in a fight together and both people are like landing good punches. Nah, not from me. Throwing hands means dude beat your ass so bad you couldn't even fight back. And that's what happened.
Yeah,
Adam Cole
honestly,
got his ass beat. He couldn't.
It was all yep.
Full of sound of fury signifying you getting your ass whipped. That's what it was.
That's fucking good. I got you there.
But yeah, so that was great. And then we had the moment of all moments that this young man right here predicted long ago. We are going to most likely get Finn. Now, wait a minute. There's still one part of your prediction to come true.
There's still one part of that prophecy to come true, but we're at part A.
We're at part A.
Is they feud, and I called that there.
Yes.
But go ahead, keep going. How did the night end?
So it looks like we would get. Well, no. Okay, I'm going to try to set this up perfectly.
Oh yeah, give me the walkthrough. I want to hear you word it out.
You see Adam Cole get his ass beat all the way up the ramp, like Kyle O'Reilly and Adam and Finn Balor just standing there watching, just like, well, damn, get him, boy. And so all right. And so they kind of zoom in on Finn Balor, and then they start running across him, like, and they're kind of showing behind him, but they're not. But they're like really zoomed in on his face, and then you see him go. He kind of looks kind of through his peripherals. You hear him go, what took you so long? And they pan back, and there's Karrion Kross. And I was like, yeah, Alpha called this from day one.
There it is.
There we go. I'm like, yeah. and I'm sorry. I love the Balor reaction. It just, what took you so long? Like, I've been waiting.
What took you so long? Yep.
So NXT ended on that note, leaving us drooling for more. Can't wait to see what happens with them. I'm actually quite interested in the promo that was cut between by Imperium, trying to bring old man Thatcher into Imperium. So I'm thinking we're going to see.
I'll get on that. I'll get in on that too.
No, go ahead, take it away, man. Like I was just.
Okay, even better.
I'd love to see it. Go for it.
No. I'm so glad you brought that up. Actually, perfect shit. But of course. First off, hook, line, and sinker. Gotcha, bitch. Like, I call that shit. I had a feeling like, not even just because, Balor was the contingent champion, so Kross is going to come back. It's like, no, realistically, I know that this whole Balor push is more or less all to just make Kross look really good at the end of this. And that's not to dumb Balor down, but I know at the end of the day, like I said, Balor's best days are behind him. Balor has paid his fucking dues. He's worked his dick off in Japan. He broke his ass in Europe, and now he's came to America, and he did it for 5 more fucking years. As far as I'm concerned, Balor isn't phoning it in, and any means that is not what I'm saying. But everyone knows Balor he's starting to close the book a little bit, and he's starting to understand how he needs to put people over, and you can see that very visually in his style of work, especially in the match with Adam Cole, too. Balor does a very good job of making people look really fucking good. But
amen.
I think this was all in the effort to eventually make Kross look really good. At the end of the day, WWE signs people all the time. And what's in the fine print sometimes? I'm going to make you a big monster heel and I'm putting you in the main event, motherfucker. And, guess who they probably did that with? Old boy Kross. Yeah. And that's not, to say that he didn't deserve it, because he does.
Well, I think I have a feeling.
Go ahead.
I think it's very much a la. Damn it! I had somebody in mind when you said that, where you said like they're just gonna like push him to the moon, except like he got hurt, so on and so forth. Damn it! Who was I thinking of?
Oh man, there's a lot of people there. There's a lot of.
Yeah.
I'll keep you think on that. I'm gonna keep going. Okay.
Okay.
You keep thinking on that. We'll come back. But I do feel like this is ultimately to put Finn Balor and have him put over Kross, to make Kross look good and have him be a mainstay champion for a little bit and have him have a good, lengthy, strong title run. And I remain true. I remain true with the fact that at the end of the day, it may not be the first time around, but at the end of the day, this is going to come down to the Demon Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross.
Yes.
It's going to break down to that at some point, and I'm calling that one too. And to finish this off about their feud, I fucking loved the way that this panned out. Yeah. I feel like it would have been cheap as fuck if Kross just came up, put the homie in the sleeper, put him down, sleep, Kross looks strong, play the trademark, the end, good night. They could have easily done that. And I like that they didn't.
But to have Balor
that almost like it wasn't cringy, but it was just this really almost anime moment of like, I've been waiting on you, sort of thing. Yeah, like I really dug that. I really like.
I've seen you lurking in the shadows. I know you're there.
Yeah, like like I equate it to like in the anime where like you know how there's season 1 of the anime and you get to the end of season 1 and you see the antagonist of that season finally beat by the protagonist. And you see the antagonist of the next season of the show sitting in the corner watching the hero. That was Kross. And that's how I see that. And that's how I see Finn Balor's reaction too. And that's a good thing.
And I do have
a really good mystique about this.
No, big time.
And I do dig this. But go ahead.
No, I figured out who I was talking about. I was gonna say a la Randy Orton from last year.
Yeah.
Keeping Randy Orton away from Drew McIntyre, but running a completely main event set of storylines to build Randy Orton as this monster, like beast of a player, only to have them clash at SummerSlam. Like it was very much done where they kept the two of them completely away from Randy. There was no interaction between Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre until about 3 weeks or about a month, maybe a month and a half before SummerSlam. Then you started having little interactions between them leading up to their feud and their match at SummerSlam. And I like that. And I've seen the similar thing with Karrion Kross and Finn Balor. Completely kept away from each other until last Wednesday, when now we're going to start getting those little interactions with each other that's going to build up to the championship match. And I believe and agree with you 100% that I believe it will lead to us seeing the Demon make his return for the first time, like God, in like 2-3 years, to face Karrion Kross.
Yeah. And I'm glad you see that. Exactly. Yeah. And I didn't really think about it like that, but you're right. You can see the correlation of Drew McIntyre's ascension as a believable, valiant, white meat babyface. You can see that ascension just as you remember Randy Orton putting a fucking screwdriver through Jeff Hardy's ear and then beating the shit out of Matt Hardy, Christian, and then Edge. And then at that point, only then when he's at that level again, does he go for McIntyre. And then suddenly you basically see your best face and your best heel go boom. And that's what we're seeing here. Exactly. And then I do dig that. And real quick, to go back to what you said about Thatcher, if you remember when Thatcher first signed, I talked vividly about how my personal exposure to Thatcher was through his extensive work with Walter. And that's where I know that's where I was really exposed to Thatcher with. Okay, and so now that I see them stretching the hand of Imperium to Thatcher, I really like this because they're keeping Walter away from here, because in reality the only one of them that has any personal connection to Thatcher is Walter. And so I'm really excited to see how this will go, if it pans in him joining or if it pans to him rebelling and doing some other shit. I'm really into this. I fucking love Thatcher. He could go out there and wrestle a chair and I would probably still mark out.
All right. Well, we were low on time, so let's kind of move this along a little bit.
Let's go.
We haven't really had a chance to touch on this. And new WWE champion. The baddest man on the planet, MVP. No, I mean Bobby Lashley. Throw you off for a curve there, didn't I? I'm proud of my boy. I think he deserves it. I think this would have been only way this could have been better is if he had taken it from Lesnar instead of the Miz. But other than that, I'm completely all there for it. I will give MVP his credit where credit was due. A year ago, all 4 of these guys were lost on the main roster, and now you're looking at 4 champions or 3 champions and their leader. And it couldn't have been done better.
The difference is there's a big understanding that MVP genuinely has a very good amount of sway backstage, and genuinely does a lot to guide these four men. And these three men. And you see he actually has an established past with Lashley. He's been close with Lashley since Impact. Mm-hmm. But you're right. It is really enlightening to see him pick up people like Cedric Alexander, who really fucking needed this. And it's really interesting because even the people that aren't a part of the team, you can see he did elevate people like Apollo, given the chance. Yep. Credit where credit is due. I fucking love MVP. And you see that video of when Kofi Kingston won the WWE Championship. There's that video of MVP breaking into fucking tears and hugging Shad Gaspard, and you realize he didn't want Kofi Kingston, the African American WWE champion. He didn't want that to be the exception. He wants that to be the rule, and there's nothing wrong with that.
And they've done a good job of building Lashley to this point to definitely make him a credible champion. The man deserves it 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, just to show a quick side note on that. After Lashley won the title, I think it was WrestlingStories.inc or something like that, put up on their Facebook page a picture of Lashley, Kingston, and Rock. It's hashtag Black Excellence. Right? Mm-hmm. And first and foremost, a lot of people were like, well, where's Mark Henry? Where's it? It's only people who've won the WWE title, folks. Like
not the World Heavyweight Championship, the WWE Championship.
One
dude,
dude,
it's above it, but it's two different titles.
Right. One dude was so damn dense. Dude goes, "Why is The Rock in there? He ain't even black,
bruh."
So then I proceeded.
Johnson is.
Hold up. Then I proceeded. No, I just responded to him and I said, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to go Google Soul Man Rocky Johnson and then realize that is The Rock's father. And then I want you to come back to the same thread and tell me that The Rock isn't black. And he was like, I know who his father is. Did you know that before you made the statement? Because this is definitely gauging your level of stupidity here. Because if you know who Soul Man Rocky Johnson is, then you should know that Rock is half black. Like these two things go hand in hand. But at the end of the day, but it was just a beautiful picture. But thanks, Bobby Lashley, for becoming what has been the first time I've seen a monster heel done correctly. Since Lesnar's early days. And like I said, I hope he holds the title beyond WrestleMania, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. This may be a just till WrestleMania run, but we got to see who his opponent's going to be at WrestleMania. Because I'm thinking it's going to be a multi-man match. I think we're going to end up seeing
so too.
Drew McIntyre. Like we may even see Sheamus in it. Like I think it's going to end up being a multi-man match. So there's a very good chance
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
I wouldn't either. But that just means that this could be a short run, and then everybody's it's just going to be the same thing as everybody's bitch with Kofi. Everybody's like, "Oh, they shortened Kofi's run." What the fuck are you talking about? Dude held the belt from April to August. Like
shortened run.
No, not even April.
Most
to August.
People hardly get like 3 months. What you mean? Yeah, exactly.
He held it from like April to October because Kofi didn't drop the belt. Yes, I will admit the match itself was ridiculous because it was like 3 minutes long, and Kofi should have been given more credit than that. But it was they were trying to put Lesnar over as a monster heel, so I understand why it was done the way it was done. But hold on, let me count that out. April to May, May to June, June to July, July to August, August, September, September, October. That's a 6-month title reign, and people are literally bitching that Kofi got robbed of some kind of legit title reign. What did you expect to do?
How many months removed is that in comparison to Jinder Mahal's title reign? Like
I think Jinder Mahal's was like around the same length, if not maybe a month shorter. Like I think Jinder.
I was gonna say like
5, because I want to say Jinder lost it at before WrestleMania. He won it at SummerSlam.
No,
he lost it before
Survivor Series. Remember?
Okay,
he didn't win it at Mania. He won it at Backlash right after Mania 32, and then he lost it a week before Survivor Series to AJ Styles.
So May to June, June to July, July to August, August, September, September, October. Yeah, 5 months. And then you can go October to November. Yeah. So basically, so like I said, I just don't understand it.
You're right, man. You're right. I get what you mean.
But at the end of the day, I'm happy. I hope he does hold on to it beyond WrestleMania. I hope this is one of those things where he holds on to it till like SummerSlam. Because he's just that over right now. But congratulations to Bobby Lashley. Congratulations to the bro, Matt Riddle, on retaining his title, or actually he's going to be defending it against Mustafa Ali, right?
Yeah.
This week on SmackDown, right?
Yes, sir.
Or not SmackDown, but on Raw.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the bros title reign is going pretty well.
To dip into that real quick, I really enjoy the transition that Lashley has had. I feel like the transition from the U.S. title picture into the main title picture has been fucking seamless. It's been so natural and so smooth, and has been so good for everybody that's touched it, if I'm being honest. We had that match with the U.S. title, and the more that I dwelled on it, and it's like, at the end of the day, it may not have been the best match ever. It's not 5 fucking stars. But in terms of making Lashley look good, making Matt look good, not making Morrison look weak and like he's just there to take the fucking pin, and getting the title off Lashley and then stepping him right into the main title picture has been almost fucking seamless. There has been no flub ups. And even if you want to count The Miz holding the title as a flub up, at the end of the day, transitional champions are inevitable. You cannot change that, and no matter what happens, every few decades, at very least, you're going to see a transitional champion. And
we haven't heard the last of The Miz in the championship picture.
And this is WWE. There's 50-50 booking. So guess who's probably going to get another fucking comeuppance going through here? The fucking Miz. Right?
So at the end of the day,
like okay, yeah, nice one.
we both enjoy Lashley as champ, and can't wait to see where that storyline goes.
Yeah, man, love Lashley.
I want to say, I'm loving the storyline, or should I say, I'm not loving. We'll go from best to worst. I'm not loving the storyline with the new Wakandan prince, Apollo Crews, over on the SmackDown brand.
His fucking like the spear, man. We're going to the spear level. Like,
look, man. It wasn't even the spear that bothered me. It was Apollo. You didn't been in WWE for like, you've been in WWE for like 4 years. Where the hell did this accent come from? This is the real Apollo Crews. No, I'm not buying it.
We've reversed Kofi Kingston. We remember Kofi Kingston came in and he had the accent and then he dropped it. We've reversed that shit. He came in with no accent and now we're picking the shit up.
Oh my God. You are dealing with the real Apollo Crews. Brother, you watched Coming to America 2 and took that shit way. You think you are the king of Zamunda, don't you? Like, at the end of the day, yes, you may have some African heritage. I believe you do in your blood. But, brother, if you did not talk like that when you came out, you should not be talking like that now. Because all it sounds like is like you are trying to audition for the next Black Panther. It sounds like you are trying to be from Wakanda. Okay? No.
Do you remember how John Cena got the rapper gimmick?
No.
He was chilling out with the boys, and he just started busting out rapping. Stephanie was like, hey, that's pretty good. You should try it. And that's how he got his gimmick. This looks to me like Apollo Crews was sitting down and catering one day, talking down with someone. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm actually like 15% Nigerian. The other dude was like, word, bro? Vince McMahon's like, put that shit on paper. That's a gimmick. Do it. And they gave him a fucking spear and they gave him a loincloth. And now he's fucking Wakanda Panther. Like, it kills me. This feels like one of those things that someone in management just like overheard and took it to the moon. And I'm not going to say that Apollo doesn't have the input here. Because, of course, if Apollo wasn't comfortable with it, he wouldn't do it. Go for it. But of course, if he wasn't comfortable with it, then he wouldn't do it, And so I don't think he's being forced to or anything like that. But it is just a bit one of those things.
Yeah, I feel you.
It seems like they just sort of like picked up out of nowhere. Fucking ran with it, sort of thing.
And it's like I said, it's all good. I can't wait to see where the storyline goes. I think it's going to lead to a match between him and Big E at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title. But I do love the fact
if this means Apollo gets a fat crew, if Apollo gets a fat crew,
crew.
If Apollo gets a fat push, what must be done?
I'm all for it. But here's my thing too. He brought out the Preacher and Big E, and I love that. I don't know if you caught the promo that he cut this week on SmackDown.
Oh,
but yeah, he's like, you didn't cause me to go biblical on your ass. Apollo! Apollo! I was like, yeah, brother, give it to me.
All in the energy.
I am here for all of this. The Wakandan accent, Big E and his preacher voice, and beating the God into somebody. And I'm here for all of it. Like, please, give me all of it.
I'm all with it, man.
I think that it's getting quite obvious that we're going to see some form of Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman for WrestleMania at this point. I don't know. If you're not going to have Braun as one of the people going after one of the championships, then Shane has put over a lot of other people. Why not Braun too?
Yeah, we know how this is going to go. Right.
So, yeah, it can only work out good for Braun as far as I'm concerned. Almost everybody that's feuded with a McMahon has gone next level. So I think I could see this leading down the road to maybe a WWE title shot, maybe Braun versus Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam.
Okay, actually, I'm really not opposed to that.
And then maybe Braun takes the strap at that point. Because remember, he's been Universal Champion, and they made it a point to point out that, he had never been WWE Champion, and that's why he wasn't involved in the Elimination Chamber match. And that's kind of where it all kicks off. So I could see this leading long-term to a WWE Championship match for Braun Strowman and a potential title win as well, either at SummerSlam or at Survivor Series, depending on how long they want to keep Lashley.
You're right. You're right. Much like Lashley did a year ago, Braun needs that heat. Needs that heat real badly. And at the end of the day, it's almost like Shane McMahon is known for fighting men much larger than him in crazy stipulation matches and putting them over in insane fucking ways, right? Yeah. What a world.
Well, was it 2 years ago he put over he feuded with KO, and that was one of the hottest feuds I'd ever seen. Like, I hated Shane McMahon. He was the perfect heel. I wanted him gone, and I wanted KO to do it.
and so when Shane plummeted through a fucking table at Mach speeds because Sammy saved Kevin Owens, whose ass marked out because Shane took a fucking face plant, right? That was the magic.
So at the end of the day, I think that feud will work out good. I'm liking the build for Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. I could do with a little less Reginald, but I think that's just in general. I could do it a little less.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not even pertaining to the Sasha and Bianca feud anymore, man. Like, I fucking hate Reggie.
That wasn't Sasha that got him the suits. That was Nia Jax that got him the suits. Yeah. Nia and her little boo.
It's like they ran this with Enzo and it didn't work, and now they're running it with fucking Reggie.
yeah. Reginald, man. Stay away from the big girl. Stay away from the big girl.
It's bad. I hate. I don't know who the fuck sat down and was like, all right, we're gonna look at all of these talented men. Give Reggie the screen time. Like, fuck. Like, you don't have someone on the roster that could be.
I think that, and here's a just long-term booking prediction. I think Banks and Belair don't win the titles at Payback. And Natalia and Tamina will be their challengers at WrestleMania for the women's tag team titles.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I think that's what that win this week set up.
You think so? Oh, I can see that. They do really seem to set up the women's division feuds like that. Mm-hmm. If I'm being honest, they do set them up like that. I can see that.
Because think about it, as much as it would be a fun and interesting story, you're trying to cover 2 nights at about 2.5 hours a night worth of stuff. There's no way you take your tag team belts and put them on the two women that are going to be facing in one of your main events each other for the SmackDown Women's belt. That makes no sense booking wise.
Right.
It would be a great story if WrestleMania was going to be 1 4.5 hour show as opposed to 2 nights. You know what I'm saying? So that would be a great story in that sense, but you need more matches. So it doesn't make sense. True. So either they're going to win it, right? They're going to win it on Sunday at the pay-per-view, and then they're going to drop them before WrestleMania. Back to Nia Jackson and Shayna Baszler, or they're just never going to, Baszler and Jackson just aren't going to drop them. But I think as soon as this whole thing with Shayna Baszler, or not Shayna, but Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair is done with, I think we get right into Tamina and Natalya taking on whoever the champs are at that time.
That's true. I can see that. In a case like this, you can tell that there's a lot of reports that Mania is a little unrefined at the moment. And so at the end of the day, I can see Vince stopping and thinking, okay, who's probably my most reliable? Who's the most dependent right now? And with that win especially too, Tamina and Natalya are probably, without counting people like Mickie James, I think they're probably two of the most dependable and longest tenured females that they have on that roster. A lot of respect for them both, but I think that's the predictable option, especially from the brass perspective. I understand that a lot.
Oh man.
But fuck, man, I wish Shayna was on her own, man.
Yeah.
I just wish Shayna was on her own.
Or if you're gonna keep her in a tag team, bring back Ronda Rousey and pair her with her. I would have loved to see that one.
That's better than that, man. It has more cohesion that way, at least, right?
Yeah.
Like it feels like a fucking dream that Shayna was the first person to ever eliminate every other human being in an elimination chamber in history.
Yeah,
it feels like that shit didn't happen.
Yeah, but I get where they're going with it. I just think this Nia Jackson Shayna Baszler thing needs to end soon. I think both of them deserve to be going after a singles title, and so I think it needs to end fairly soon. Let's see.
I see that. I agree.
Do we have anything else really that we need to get into?
I think we got that there.
All right, I think we covered a little bit of everything. So, guys, this is one of our longest episodes that we ran in a while, at least with just the two of us. So join us again next week, and we're going to be talking Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which starts next Friday. We're going to be talking. Yeah, we're gonna be talking. What is it? Unbreakable.
We're going to be talking Unbreakable. We're going to be doing the Superpower M. Night Shyamalan collection,
Yeah. So, and hopefully if he gets caught up, we'll be doing some Young Rock as well.
I will. I'm ready for that. Right.
And then I'll be doing my weekly or bi-weekly review of Black Lightning, Batwoman, The Flash, which has been really fucking good this season. Oh my God.
All right.
Yeah. So we'll get to all of that next week, y'all. Thanks for joining us this week for the wrestling episode of the Cheap Pop Podcast. Alpha, any last words for him?
Oh, you know how it goes. My people, please be safe. Watch your asses out here. We're coming into recovery. And we're hoping to give you some more content following the next few weeks, huh?
For sure. So y'all take care of yourselves, and we're going to be out. Peace.